Hey, how's it going, guys? Today we're going to be doing the heroic Eye of Azshara. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that if you ever fish anything out of the Dalaran fountain, don't eat it before coming into a dungeon. Otherwise, you'll turn into a basilisk and you won't be able to do shit for about 30 seconds. So just keep that in mind. So let's get on to it. Now, this is my first time running this heroic, so I just followed these guys. We didn't fight very many mobs, so I'm going to leave this whole video up. It's going to be a pretty long video, but I think this might be one of the best ways to run. That's the only reason I'm keeping it up, because, I don't know, maybe there's more than one way, but this was the least fighting type. I don't know what the hell I'm even trying to say, but you get what I'm trying to say, hopefully. If you do hear any like crinkling or anything in the background, I basically wrote down a bunch of notes and stuff for different mobs and bosses, so that might be in the background. I'm sorry if it is. And I haven't had a video out in quite some time, like 2 days for heroics, because I was trying to do them too early in the morning, and after spending 2.5 hours in queue and not getting anybody, nobody being awake in the guild, I finally fixed my sleeping schedule, so I was able to actually record this at daytime, or close to night, instead of 4 in the morning. So anyways, let's get started. Basically, you're going to want to follow the path. I don't open up my map, unfortunately, so I am kind of sorry for that. These mobs right here, they really aren't that important. They're basic mods. There are some interrupts you want to do, but I didn't feel that any of them are really necessary. They will, however, do a spell where it polymorphs you into a fish, which I find that pretty hilarious. I think it happens later down the road. This damn fucking mosquito better get away from me, dude. Oh my god. Anyways, this is gonna be the first boss. Warlord Parjesh? I don't know, man. I have no clue. So there's gonna be a couple mechanics you're gonna want to do. As you can see, I'm reading it right now because I didn't have time to. When he summons ads, don't kill them. Unfortunately, me and the Demon Hunter didn't really know this, or maybe he did it on accident, but I didn't know this. You need them, because the boss will do a spell called Impaling Spear, which, as you can see, I got hit, or I'm going to get hit. And there it is, throws you back. Now, it says it does a lot of damage, and it does, but as long as you have a decent healer, you should be able to live through it. You want those ads to take the impact of the spear. Unfortunately, we don't get told that until after it happens, and the boss doesn't live long enough for a second one. But after he does do the spear, you can kill ads, because he will summon more ads before the next spear. So keep that in mind. For the healer and the tank mechanics, it's the same exact thing. If you get targeted by a spear, hide, and then, the tank gets back on the boss, the healer keeps healing, the DPS kills the ads. I do want to say that we had a pretty good group. I mean, I couldn't get past the tank's heals. Not the tank's heals, what am I talking about? The tank damage, because, I don't know, she just had gear out the ass. So, we had a pretty good group. We were down in the bosses pretty quick. You will have to have some pretty good spatial awareness to not aggro some ads that we do run by. So if you have that problem, you might have to attack a couple more things. I think this mob right here is actually one of the ones that polymorphs you into a fish. You can either interrupt that. As you can see, I was about to get polymorphed, but something happened. I think somebody interrupted it. So you can either interrupt the polymorph or the arcane blasts, because I like to get as much damage in as possible. If the polymorph isn't targeted on me, I didn't give a shit. Who cares? I'm not getting polymorphed. Even the healer. If the healer's gonna get polymorphed, damage comes first. Always. These little goops are a little bit annoying. I don't know if they attack you or if because he dashed they attacked. Basically, they'll slow you down, as you'll hopefully see soon. Yeah, oh, okay. Well, that went off pretty quick. Anyways, there it is. They put a debuff on you, and it just slows down your run speed. I think at 5 stacks, it slows down by 100%. If I seen that correctly, that was 20%, so the math would add up there. I'm doing this on a laptop, and it's only like on half the screen, because like my other stuff is on the other half, so You know, I may not say a name right, or I may not say the spell right, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. And you'll keep going down the road. Here is another mob that just, she'll polymorph. She'll do some arcane attacks. I try to interrupt the arcane attacks. I feel like something like that does a lot more damage than just a polymorph. Even if it like polymorphs the tank or the healer, I don't feel it lasts long enough, or they do enough damage for interrupting the poly to really matter. Now maybe on like a mythic or something, that might be the case. So just remember that this dungeon and all the dungeons I'm going to be showing is heroics, because I think mythic, the only difference is they just hit harder or have more health. I don't know if there's any more mechanics. There may be. So you're going to skip that other mob. There's a lot of little weird bubble things, oozes around. So you're going to have to watch out for that. I think this boss actually does summon more oozes. So before we get into this fight, I guess you might want to clear this just in case somebody accidentally aggroes in the boss fight. I don't see why they would. I don't think these oozes get too close to the boss, but you never know. Quick side note, if you've stuck in this far, in the description I'll have times at where each boss is, just in case you want to skip to that. So for this fight, it's an interesting mechanic. So you want to pay attention to where the sand dunes are, because she will cast something called Static Nova right here. Get on a sand dune, don't take any damage. As you can see, nobody took damage. We all knew what the hell we were doing. But you want to get off of it pretty quick, because if she does something called Focused Lightning, it will actually destroy the sand dunes. Here it is. As you can see, that sand dune right in front of her just got destroyed. May not seem like that much of a problem, but it really is, because without sand dunes being close, you take a lot of damage from Static Nova. She will also summon oozes, as I thought, which actually is a problem, because if you're, I think right here, yeah, see, I got thrown back. I was too close to the sand dune, so I couldn't make it. You end up taking about a quarter damage, it seems, and then getting stunned. So you don't want to really destroy any sand dunes if you can help it. Here's another Focus Lightning. Get away from the sand dunes. Unfortunately, the Demon Hunter thought we had to get on him, so he ended up standing on it. She will do that throw. So the throw mixed with the ooze's debuff on you, it can get pretty hectic. So just pay attention to that. I don't think there's a way to really stop the... See, I actually was able to use my heroic that time because she threw me. Otherwise I would have gotten stunned again. I don't think there's a way to really watch the debuff of the oozes besides maybe not killing them. But you could end up getting swarmed by oozes. So just kill them and try to make it if you can. As you've seen, I took about a quarter damage, though be warned, I am a warrior, so I'm plate, so I won't take as much damage as maybe the priest. So, that's that. So we're going to run over here to the next boss. As I said, you can see like how the king is supposed to be next, but we end up doing the serpent. I don't know if we actually skip the king, or if the bosses in the Adventures Journal isn't actually how you walk into them. I'm not sure. I just follow people when I don't know the dungeon. So there's another mob, three-headed serpent. I tried to interrupt it, but I ended up realizing that I think I tried. I might on the next one, but you can't do it. At least I couldn't. So watch out for those balls, because they'll hit and then they'll shoot up lightning towers or pillars or whatever you want to call it. Not too hard to dodge. Just basically wherever you see it land, move out of the way, and you're good. You'll get some crabs. They don't really pose a threat. We never died. I don't really even think on ads we came close. So we had a really good group. So you may experience a difference with other groups. Hopefully not. So the next boss we're gonna... I don't know if I said the last boss's name. The last boss was Lady Hatecoil. Maybe, in case you care, probably don't. But clear the ads around... Serpentrix? I can't even read my handwriting, it's so bad. I'm assuming that says Serpentrix. He's an interesting boss. Kind of reminds me of the boss from Throne of Thunder, the raid, I think it is. With the serpent head that you know, you have like 3 or 2 serpent heads, and then you have to kill one. It's kind of like that fight, but I'll explain it when we get there. As you can see, he's doing the thing again. Rods of lightning, really easy to watch out for. So, we're about to get into the fight. I know I'm not going to cut anything, so it may sound like I'm trying to ramble just to, you know, get through these little lulls, and I am. Not really sure what to say. Watch out for these seagulls, actually. It's the perfect time, because for whatever reason, they have, like, a lot of health. As you can see, we cleared all the crabs. This seagull's a normal, but he's fucking dying like an elite. I don't know what's with these seagulls. If you can help it, don't hit them. They just ruin your day. They're a nuisance. You know, just like I live down close to the ocean, seagulls are 100% a nuisance, in-game and in real life. So, we finally started attacking the damn boss. Sorry if this keeps up for a while. I had to learn the spells. So he'll put Toxic Wound on somebody, and as you can see what I'm doing, luckily it got on me first. Just move around. If you stand still, you'll take damage. If you move around, you won't. It doesn't leave any lasting AoE, so you don't have to worry about, you know, leaving it in front of somebody else. Just don't run into them, because I'm pretty sure it'll hurt them. So, the Adventurer's Guide says to interrupt Submerge. I don't know if you really can. And right here, as you can see, I'm really confused. I'm like, do I go to the blue? Do I go to the green? Basically, just kill the ads. So, me and the warrior stayed on the blue. You can go kill the blue or the red one. You know, if your group says pick one, go to the one they say. Otherwise, you just pick one. If there's multiple people on one, go to the other one. You know, just try to get it down. What you want to do, though, is as you can see, that charge didn't interrupt him, the rampage, but your pummel or whatever else you can does. So, if you can't interrupt the submerge, interrupt the rampage. Believe me, it'll help because you won't take as much damage. And he does submerge at 66% health and 33% health. And it did say that you need to stay downwind during violent winds so you don't take poison spit damage. I really didn't see any of that when we were fighting him, so either we killed him too quick or I just wasn't paying attention. Also, really good relic to put in my weapon. Increased it by like 9 item level points. Really happy about that. Unfortunately, out of the 2 heroics I've run, that's the only gear I've gotten that's worthwhile. Unfortunately. So after you're done with him, you're going to basically go in that cave you see ahead of us. And I should really mention really quick, you'll see these swirls on the ground. All that happens is lightning hits the ground. I don't think anybody got hit by the lightning. I know I didn't. So I don't know how much damage it does. I'm assuming it doesn't do all your health, but it may do like an 1/8 or a 1/6 of it, because otherwise there's just no point in it even being there. So we finally made it to the giants. Obviously, that hits everybody for a good chunk of their health, and it stuns. So, you know, taking full group AoE damage and then a stun right after, not fun for healers, so hopefully you can heal it. These ads came running in. I don't know if somebody aggroed them or if they just run a by. Just AoE them down. They're normals, nothing worthwhile for them at least. And then keep attacking the big guy. Now, I do have to say, every time he stuns you, I think not on this guy, but on another one, I do look at the buff that they get, and it increases their damage, I want to say by either 25% or by 50%. I know I probably should have, like, wrote it down somewhere. I didn't, so I'm sorry for that. Not the best. Dude, this fucking mosquito. Maybe not the best walkthrough, but hopefully I'm doing good enough. So it's either 25% or 50% damage. And then you'll come through here, you'll kill some more ads. I did get a little nervous near these snails, because I think also in the Throne of Thunder raid from Mop, they instant killed you. So, you know, I'm very skeptical around any kind of snail or whelk or whatever you want to call them. Especially if you've seen, he did some kind of like AoE poison. I was like, oh great, I'm about to get instant killed, because first time I ever ran that raid, guess what? I was the one to get instant killed. Mainly because nobody told me about it. So as you can see, I stay my distance, and he has a really large hitbox, actually, which is kind of weird. Like, you can stand a pretty good amount away from him, but as you can see, the tank is right up on him, doesn't get instant killed, so I highly doubt they do. But they do that, like, little AoE poison. That's why I stayed away from him. So, you'll keep on going. You're gonna fight 2 more giants. Sorry, I have, like, the hiccups trying to hold them in. You will fight 2 more giants together, and we'll put a marker on one of them. So I would assume go ahead and look. Somebody aggroed another fucking seagull. Attack the one that we attack first. I don't know why they marked it. Maybe just to focus one down. Maybe because one does something different than the other. But it doesn't hurt to just kind of follow along. And then somebody aggroes a goddamn snail. I forgot about that. That was so annoying. I don't know how I forgot. That was probably like 6 hours ago or something. I have horrible memory. Today's been a long day, let me tell you. So, if somebody aggroes a seagull and a snail, kill them. Watch out for those lightning swirls. And then hopefully you can get on to the boss, so then we can get to the final boss. So then this video can finally end. As you can see, I'm kind of reading through the thing, because nobody ever gives you time to ask questions about bosses or read the adventure journal anymore. I remember running dungeons and people would ask, this fight? And then tell you. Or at least you had time to look it up. But I didn't look it up, mainly because I don't want this mosquito laying on the mic. I don't want y'all to hear it. Anyways, back to the thing. You want to attack the blue one first. Again, not really sure if that's an important thing or not. But we did go ahead and do it. Fighting 2 of these guys at the same time is really annoying because the stuns happen more frequently. And the other one, the more stuns he gets off, the stronger he gets. So yeah, they do 2 different spells. This one does like Massive Quake, the other one does a stun. So I'm assuming Massive Quake ends up doing more damage. After that, go back to the other guy. As you can see, he already has like 2 stacks of that buff on him. So you really want to hope you can kill quick. Otherwise, this might be a little bad for you. I did show the damage buff right there. But, we killed him. We got it done. So that's all I can ask for. So now we're coming up on the boss, King Deepbeard. Pretty straightforward fight. Guess I'll go ahead and start talking about him since I kind of fell behind on the last boss because we kill him so quick. So basically, there's a couple things you want to do. One is you want to avoid damage from Call the Seas. You'll know what that is by the dark blue, I want to call them, circles that swirl around the ground. Now, what the tank said, I think it was a tank, I can't really see, but somebody said, you want to take damage to pop those bubbles. I will hover over the bubble so you can see what it is, but it's bad. Those are the Call to Sea, as you can see right there. So you want to avoid those, unless you're trying to pop the bubble, then go ahead and run into them. There's also a thing you want to avoid called Aftershock. He'll do a spell called Quake, and if you could see on the ground, there's those cracks. That's basically the Aftershock. You stand in it, guess what? You're taking damage. Or at least that's what the Adventurer's Guide made it seem like. I got a bubble on me. There you go. I'm hovering over in it. And unfortunately, it absorbs a lot of damage. And so standing in these things, I couldn't get it off in time. I don't think the priest could either. So I think it does AoE damage to everybody. I was really confused in this boss fight. But the healer is going to do the same thing. The tanks are going to do the same thing. But they also, tanks, you want to move away from Ground Slam. That's a tank-specific thing because he's targeted to you. So just watch out for that. Other than that, move out of the AoEs and stuff. You're set. So then you're gonna come around here, and we are going to be going to fight the final boss, Wrath of Azshara. Now, before you actually get to fight him, as you can see, he's at about a third health, maybe. Or not a third, but like really close to a half, basically. You're going to have to fight those casters. One at a time. I don't think they really move. Because he'll end up losing more health. So they're basically the same as the ones we were fighting before. They'll do those like arcane spells, they'll throw you up in the air, they'll do some water spells, and they'll polymorph you. Pretty simple fight. So you want to go around and kill each one. No specific order, just don't like accidentally aggro the boss if you can, not really sure. So this is going to be the one time I am going to cut, because there's no point in showing you killing the same, or showing you of us killing the same thing like 5 times, I think it is, 4 or 5. So we're going to cut now. Alright, so before this fight really gets started, you see those blue tidal waves? You really want to watch out for those. They don't disappear after you kill the final caster, but they're not that big of a deal. Now, if you're a warrior, hopefully you went the artifact power route where your execute ability stacks with increased damage, because for this boss fight, guess what? You have execute from beginning to end. Really good for this fight. Unfortunately, still doesn't put me in first or second damage, but whatever. So as you're fighting, you'll see those tornadoes. Guess what? Don't stand in them, or your ass is flying. Doesn't really do too much damage on the shoot up, but fall damage is a thing. Unless, of course, you're a warrior, then you can just charge a heroic leap, no big deal. Another thing is this thing called Arcane Bomb. Now, healers or whoever can dispel them, but after it gets dispelled, or when it's going to, the timer's going to run out, you need to move, because it'll wait a second or two, and then it'll do a bunch of AoE damage. You do not want to get hit by that. So you kind of got to pay attention if you're not really talking to your group, because you won't know. There it is right there. You won't know if it's going to get dispelled or not. So you really got to watch out for that. Other than that, you know, the DPS and the healer really doesn't have to do anything. The tank, you really want to stay in melee range though, because he'll basically go like into a raging storm. You don't want that. And also move out of the area of effect of massive deluge, I think is how it's pronounced. When it's being cast, watch out for that. And then you'll have killed him. If you have the quest to do the pillars thing, you can do that. That's going to be it for this video. Unfortunately, I don't have another one ready yet, because we got fucked in this one, kicked everybody out, and then, like, we couldn't get back in. So that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Give me any feedback in the comments down below if I'm doing good or bad, and what I can improve on. And I will see y'all next time.